Hi, this is Izzy. I'd like to take you through growing these 4 little seedlings in my home setup. I am a home grower. I don't have a fancy setup. I just put my orchids on tables and windowsills around the home. Don't have heaters, don't have lights. So I just want to show you what happens with these orchids. I've had seedlings before. This is a Maxillaria quartz key and it's growing very well. It's water loving. Put it in some bark. And it was part of my first set of seedlings that I ordered. This is my other one that was part of that order, and it's a Dendrobium kingianum, which is also doing great. So that original order also had another orchid in it, an Angraecum rutenbergianum, another one of which you can see in the front here, and that one didn't do very well. It rotted. So I've learnt from that I struggled with the original growing medium, but we'll go into that in a minute. So I just want to show you how these orchids grow and make mistakes and share them with you as we go. So now I've got these 4 new little seedlings to show you from Orchid Alchemy. The first one here is Paphiopedilum insigne. So with this one, it's still in the original potting environment. It came in a fine bark and perlite mix, and it's generally an orchid that likes to stay fairly damp in the summer, likes quite bright light, and has a dry winter period. It's from Bangladesh area is where the species normally grows. So I've kept the original medium because it's quite water retentive, and clearly the orchid's doing quite well in it because it's got that new little leaf. Paphiopedilums normally have slightly brown hairy roots. They look a little bit weird in the medium compared to other orchids, but that's because they like a lot of water normally. So we'll see how this one does in this medium for now. Fingers crossed. Right, on to the next one. This is a Laelia anceps, which is a species from Central America. They normally like very bright light. They're a Cattleya type orchid, so any bright diffuse light will be great for them. And it's a fairly warm grower that normally likes a bit of a winter rest. This one I have potted in a mixture of my larger bark pieces and some of the original medium because it had fairly fine roots when I got it, and so I just wanted to give it a little more moisture. We'll see how this one does, but I don't actually know what it's going to look like. Normal Laelia anceps is pink, but this is a pink crossed with an alba, so we'll see. The next one is the second Angraecum rutenbergianum. So Angraecums this one is from Central America, but in general Angraecums don't like root disturbance, and I have just disturbed this one by repotting it into large bark chips. I repotted it into large bark chips because the first one I had rotted, and this one had roots extending sideways on the top of the medium rather than going down into the medium when I got it. So I think based on the fact the first one rotted and this one didn't have roots going down into the medium, I think that it wasn't enjoying the medium it was in. I put it in something really, really airy. It makes sense that it wants a bit more air around its roots because it's often on tree trunks, it's often found growing on rocks in the wild, so and they do recommend that you give it a lot of airflow around the roots. So I have put this one in the large bark chips, and fingers crossed it doesn't rot this time. And now, this is one I'm really excited about. This is a Neofinetia falcata hanagoromo crossed with hien. So this is a Vanda type orchid from Japan, but grows very differently to other Vandas. People often pot them in moss, but I've potted this one in bark chips for now because I don't have sphagnum moss. It's actually the same thing happened with this one when I got it and took out the original fine bark and perlites with the Angraecum rutenbergianum. It had roots going across the medium, but not down into it, which makes me think that it needed a more airy medium. So I've also put this one in the large bark pieces, as you can see here, and hopefully it does better with this more airy medium. So it's growing quite well. It's got roots going across, so let's hope it has some roots going down soon. And it has a new little leaf coming out the top there, so fingers crossed. I don't actually know what this one's going to look like, because it's a cross between hanagoromo, which is a tiger stripe variety which has got patches of low chlorophyll in the leaves, so looks light coloured, and hien, which is a high anthocyanin type. And the high anthocyanin means it will be very red and quite dark and maybe have dark flowers. So we'll see what that turns out like, who knows. So that's how they are now. Thanks ever so much for listening. If you've got any comments or any feedback, please leave it down below. See you soon.